have no choice but to win.
What's up, everybody? It's me, FlashySupreme, and welcome to my YouTube channel, FlashySupreme Gaming. I decided to revisit an old tradition. I solo queued myself into a public match. The following footage was captured a few days after the semi-unofficial 1 week of Stormpoint map rotation event had finally reached a conclusion.
Not today.
The game begins with a twist. The Season 13 double master rank relinquished Jump Master to me. It was somewhat of an honor, so I accepted the challenge. It is now up for me to decide how our fate will be decided. Now, don't get me wrong, while I do enjoy going to Fragments, I wasn't going to waste this opportunity dependent upon mindless RNG. It was my responsibility to land us at a reasonable location, so I decided that the Epic Center would be a decent choice. Unfortunately, after taking a good amount of time searching for loot, there was not much to find. I was equipped with the P2020, no hammer point, and a practically stock alternator with just an extended light magazine. I guess you could say that I was going to show up to Fragments slightly underprepared. Fortunately, the Horizon did ping a level 2 body shield.
Thanks.
I still needed that hammer point, although I traded that for an L-Star instead. Now we're about to experience everyone's favorite part of the map, also known as Fragments. The first push begins as we rush into third partying all the noise that could be overheard within the diner nearby. One enemy is already knocked before the Watson and I could even arrive. My original plan was to take the gravity lift so I could get a better view of what to expect above from the glass outside. However, another enemy squad joins the fight. The Watson gets jumped by a solo third-party Pathfinder. The Horizon swoops in and fires the final shot, taking them down. The third-party attempt, led by the solo Pathfinder, becomes an underwhelming attempt of hopeless bravery. We took a few moments to resupply. I took some loot from the death boxes that were inside the diner. There had not been much time to prepare for the next fight. A Newcastle, Bloodhound, and Wraith squad could be observed in a nearby building. It seemed as if they were scheming some type of nefarious plot, simply waiting for the perfect moment to attack. I had to take a second to heal back up. I decided to climb the second-story roof portion of the diner building in anticipation of a follow-up strike, although I also noticed a lifeline trying to flank me from the wall below and underneath to the right. Out of nowhere, a doppelganger Wraith stepped out of a portal, attempting to initiate a surprise strike. Good thing for my abilities, as this is only semi-surprising. After realizing the enemy's capabilities, a soft reset was more than necessary to re-heal and fully comprehend the reality as to what exactly is going on in our surroundings. So, after taking the time to nearly fully heal myself back up, I decided to go over towards the Horizon and provide backup. It was important that we take care of this Newcastle, Wraith, and Bloodhound squad before dealing with any of the other squads. The Horizon was waiting to strike near the door where the other team awaits. Time to get even with the enemy and carry out a successful plan of attack. The door being kicked down was more than a sufficient warning letter, allowing the opponents to be made aware that their demise was near. Watson and I charged into the building from the upstairs, and the Horizon was pushing the Newcastle and Wraith on the floor underneath. The Horizon rushes the Newcastle, trying to save the Void Prowler Wraith and the enemy team. I needed a few moments to resupply. While searching for loot, a mirage could be seen bobbling up and down. Bloodhound scans soon followed thereafter, confirming not just us to them, but them to us as well. Instantaneously, the mirage was knocked. Can't be fooling anyone when you don't bother bamboozling anyone. The showdown's about to begin for the sole survivor enemy Bloodhound. Mind games of unnecessary movement were now underway, to throw them off and waste their time. It was not too long before the Bloodhound realized that this was the worst case scenario. There is no possibility where they'll be getting out of this alive. After successfully distracting them by wasting their time, a 1 vs 2 against the Diamond and Master rank soon followed. The end result ultimately led them to their inevitable downfall.
If suspense gets caused, we know.
Last member's down. One squad closer to winning.
Mid-game was an interesting case of atypical. 6 squads remained and the first ring wasn't even finished closing yet. It's almost like this game's almost over even though it just recently began.
I hear five. I think someone's breaking that fence behind us.
Something more interesting than that is what I could only describe as one of the longest times for a squad to push that I've witnessed from a master rank-led squad. While the Horizon and Watson were trying to trade shots from a distance, the loadout I was currently equipped with, an Opticless Havoc and a stock Peacekeeper, were not designed for this type of engagement FR. While I had a few moments, I decided to swap out the weapon skins on my weapons, as well as ping what attachments I needed for them. Despite the weapon loadout, it'll still be useful to know which direction the enemies will be pushing from. I decided I was going to be lookout and began to scout out for the enemy, determined to know which side they'll be pushing from.
You need a syringe?
But Watson mentioned something about a syringe and whether I needed help. I don't want to lose track of the enemies, but in hindsight, I should have took the syringe and healed up before this all went down.
Got a feeling someone's been here.
As I witnessed the other Wraith begin to phase into the building, there's more than enough to know. Be prepared. I threw a grenade down the elevator since the Wraith wouldn't be able to phase up through the zipline onto our floor. This is able to slightly throw off their aggressive push plan they had in mind. The shuffling of enemy feet could be overheard underneath. They were clearing out the building, floor by floor, destroying every Watson fence they could find. It was taking them a while to reach the roof of the building, so I threw the legendary 2nd anniversary holo spray to let them know what they're facing. It must have landed at the bottom floor because fighting soon began to break out. I wasn't particularly about giving up height, considering the fact that the Watson fences already blocked key areas on the top floor. The lifeline tried to overtake the top floor by the elevator zipline, blocked by a Watson fence. The Ash pushes a 2 vs 1 against Watson and I after using her ultimate to get up to the 3rd floor. Never underestimate a Watson Wraith duo that are clearly working together. This Ash finds out the hard way the errors of her mistake and end up getting finished by the Horizon. Things are going well so far, but the Lifeline manages to revive the Wraith that the Horizon knocked. I was going to check out where this occurred, but the gravity lift threw me off somewhat from landing at the bottom floor. Due to this mistake, Watson and I got separated from Horizon, and the Lifeline was able to knock our Horizon. I decided to investigate and attempted to follow where the Lifeline was running to, but the Watson was able to find the Lifeline before I did. Fortunately, the Lifeline gets knocked down by the Watson. I made sure this Lifeline was not going to be able to revive anybody else. The Watson begins to revive our Horizon. They mistakenly believe the only person left is just a Bangalore. However, the actual threat is a Master Rank level Wraith. I don't know how someone could mistake a Wraith for a Bangalore. There's more than that. This situation called for me to get on my mic to use verbal comms with my team. Might need to use more than just pings for this type of enemy. We get separated from the Horizon again, and a repeat scenario follows suit. The Horizon's now down by the Wraith on the enemy team. Good thing that the Wraith was only one shot. The Watson was able to clutch up the moment and save the day. The Watson proceeds to revive the Horizon as well as myself. Now that I was back up, I was going to need syringes or medkits to make it out of this ring alive. It's a good thing the Watson listened and was able to provide extra syringes for me, as I saw the Horizon take the heals, right in front of me, despite obviously needing help. On the real, it'd be arrogant, selfish, ignorant, or simply naive to believe anybody could make it out of the ring alive without any syringes or medkits, but that's just my own personal insight regarding that scenario. The 3rd round began and we were not inside the ring. There's quite some distance from where we ought to be and where we're currently located.
You can phase, right?
Yeah, I got my portal. I was asked by the Watson if I had my portal. Indeed I do. Although I think I somewhat misunderstood why they were asking about it. I think it was more if they got downed in the ring. However, I was running low on health, so I kinda needed my portal for myself. Remember the syringes?
I need help.
As an act of good faith, I threw down the heat shield.
Enemy spotted.
There's someone over there at the craft room. Although I noticed something in the distance. There's another squad nearby using the crafter. Now we're getting attacked by a different squad. They were preying on us, probably thinking we'd be easy eliminations that haven't healed up in the ring. They'd be wrong and severely underestimated us.
We'll break his.
45 seconds until
Another squad began shooting at us. They are trying to third party us from a distance with snipers.
shield battery here. Catching myself up.
This location we're currently at is one we must move away from, as it's not in the ring and in line of sight of those snipers nearby.
You got it.
It's a rampart squad.
Yeah.
Probably want to go around them. I notified my teammates that the squad shooting at us is the Rampart squad. We must move around them if we're going to get out of this jam. They had height and a positional advantage over us. They had their angles covered.
Let's go this way.
Rings coming in.
Attention, delivering care package.
The third ring was closing and the beginning of the endgame was about to begin. 3 squads remained. Us, the Rampart squad, and an unidentified squad that we have not currently met.
In position. If the fence gets crossed, we'll know.
Oh, that's the. Oh. 3 squads left.
The last 2 squads began fighting before we could strike. We needed to get there as soon as possible, before it was too late. The 4th round begins. It is now time to make the definitive move. It begins with destroying the enemy team's Watson and your ultimate, as well as eliminating the Rampart that was causing us chaos from earlier. Threats eliminated. Suddenly, another Watson appears from the corner. She ends up getting wrecked by the Wraith Watson combo. 2 more show up from the doorway of the opposite side. They as well are unprepared what they're about to face. They are decimated swiftly, and are appropriately taken care of. No gold shield will save anybody here. I'm out of ammo. There was still someone else out there that remained. Unfortunately, I was now out of ammo, so I needed to resupply. But Watson was able to neutralize the threat, and the victory belonged to us. GG's. So there you have it. That's what a public match of World's Edge looked like for me on May the 23rd. It took a while to develop this video, so if you made it this far, it'd be greatly appreciated if you like, comment, and or subscribe to this channel, FlashySupreme Gaming. That'll be everything for me for now. Once again, this is me, FlashySupreme. Keep it flashy and reign supreme.